Good morning everyone. The aim of this video is to give you a very brief overview of AQA English Language Paper 2, Question 3. Now Paper 2 is a 1 hour and 45 minute exam paper. It's out of 80 marks and you are given 2 non-fiction sources to read. Now these will be both linked, so they're going to be about a similar topic, but they will be from different time periods. There are 5 questions to complete, and I believe the best order to complete this paper in is in this order. So question 5 first, then question 3, 1, 4, and finally 2. Now the reason for this is that you get the big mark question out of the way first. Question 3 and question 1 are next, because they're both only about one source. Then for question 4 and 2 to make sense, you need to have read both sources, so we will leave those questions until last. Now, question 3 looks something like this. It should look kind of familiar because it's pretty much the exact same question as paper 1, question 2. It directs you to a certain part of one of the texts, could be source A or source B. The question asks you to explore the writer's use of language or language devices for a certain purpose. So in this example, it's asking how the writer has used language to shock the reader and appeal to their emotions. It's worth 12 marks, which is 15% of the whole exam paper. So although it's near enough the same question as paper 1, question 2, it's actually worth more marks. Now I'd recommend that you spend 3 minutes preparing and planning this answer, and spending 12 minutes writing the response. And you should aim to write 2 to 3 paragraphs in this time. So either 3 4-minute paragraphs or 2 6-minute paragraphs. Now on this question, in order to get the marks, you need to use accurate subject terminology. So if it's emotive language, say it's emotive language. If it's imagery, say so in your answer. For higher marks, you need to use sophisticated subject terminology. So as an example, you would say it's an abstract noun, rather than just calling it a noun. You need to use a range of quotations from the given lines. Go with a minimum of 2 quotations per paragraph. And then you need to explore and analyse the effect of the device that you're highlighting. So this could be looking at the connotations of a certain word or phrase, or just exploring what effect that particular technique has on the reader. How does it affect your understanding of the text? Try to get as much detail as you can out of each quotation before moving on. And above all, make it clear. So this is how I'd recommend structuring the answer. Same as paper 1, question 2 and 3, use FEAR. FEAR stands for focus, evidence, analyse, reader. And what this means is that you focus your response on the question, mentioning the subject terminology used by the writer. For example, in source A, the writer uses the juxtaposition of evil and innocence in order to shock the reader and appeal to their emotions throughout this extract. So there, not only am I mentioning the technique, which is juxtaposition, but I'm also linking directly to the question. For evidence, state the quotation, or direct the examiner to the evidence. Bonus points if you can embed the quotation into your sentence. Next, you analyse the use of the language device. This is where you would explain how it links to the question. In the example that I just used, I would explain how the juxtaposition of evil and innocence shocks the reader and appeals to their emotions. Here you can dive into the significance of individual words or multiple interpretations of why a certain device has been used. And then, finally, the reader. How does the use of this device affect or change your understanding of the text? How does it interest the reader? And seriously, you should never write, "It makes the reader want to read on." Now these are some pretty generic sentence starters that you could use to get you going, but obviously you can always add more detail of your own. And that's about it for question 3. And that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and happy revising.